Welcome again, my fellow students, and today we are going to work on square root. And let's note this. Any number has two square root. Has two square root. One is positive and the other is negative, okay? i.e. square root of 25, okay? It has two numbers. Let's say it has two square roots, which is positive 5 and negative 5, okay? So any number whose square root is an integer, let's note that down. Any number whose square root is an integer is a perfect square. Okay, so let's now find let's now go to the what we are supposed to do, and that is, let's start with square root by factorization. Okay, square root by factorization. Okay, hope we are together, my fellow student. Let's now start with finding the square root of let's have this as our first example, square root of 81 by factorization. So this will be 9 times 9, which can still further break it down to 3 by 3 times, let's make it bold, 3 by 3. Okay, then we pick one in each group or in each factor, which will be 3 times 3. Okay, now our final answer, or our final square root, now the square root of 81 is now 9, which is 3 times 3. Our next example will be find the square root of 1296 by factorization, which is, my fellow student, will be 36 by 36, which still we can break it down to 4 times 9, and then 4 by 9. Okay, still we have to break it down, okay, into 2 by 2, which is give us that form, and then 3 by 3, then 2 by 2, then 9 by 9. So we pick one, as we did on the above example, one number per factor, which we'll pick 2, here we'll pick 3, here we pick 2, here we pick 3, here we pick 3. So our square root will be 2 by 3 by 2 by 3, which give us 36 as the square root of 1296. And then after finding that, we can also be told find the square root by expressing them in power form, by expressing in power form. Okay, expressing by power form. Let's have this. Let's now repeat this, but we will work by expressing in power form. And before we do that, let's note that when expressing a number by power form, then we have to divide the powers by a half, or we multiply by 2, or we multiply by a half the powers. For example, let's repeat it, but now we work with the powers. 1296. So that one will give us still 30. Okay, let's now take it from there. From here, let's start it from here, where we have 4 times 9 by 4 by 9. Let's start from there. 4 by 9 by 4 by 9. This one will give us 2 squared times 3 squared times 2 squared times 3 squared. So this squared, we say that we multiplied by half, or we divide by 2. So let's have this multiplied by a half. So it will be 2 by 3 by 2 by 3. Now the square root will still remain 36. The same with this one, my fellow student. And then before we adjourn our first class of today, let's now tackle it by square root. Then we adjourn our today's class as we wait for the next class. Okay, let's have square root from tables. Let's have it. Square root from tables. Okay, square root from tables. Quickly, let's start with this. Find the square root of 5.38 by tables. Just as we did in finding the squares, where it is more of the same, whereby we'll start with the x column, then we move the same row to where it has the other value. Okay, the same row, then the third column. So let's look at this. By tables, we first look at in the x column, we look for 5.3. Look for 5.3. Okay, in the x column. So we have there we will have after moving down to the 5.2 in the x column, then we move the same row where it intersects the value of 8 in the next row. That's the same row, but in the next, the same row. Okay, so that value that is there is 2.3195. These two, it is the first number along the row. You'll get it, and then this one we always find it in the value, the same row, where they intersect. Value of x intersect the value of the square of now in the column of 8. Okay, so the next one, as our last example, will be the square root of 0.146. So we first turn it into powers, which will be 14.6 times 10 raised to power negative 2. Okay, find the square root. Okay, so as we did here, we go to the x column, we read 14, and then read 14. Then we go to the next column, the same row, where it intersects 6, and the value there we'll find it to be 3.8210. Remember this power here, it will be now times 10 raised to power negative 1. Okay, square root. So always when you see a negative power, the zeros will go on toward the left hand side. So we'll have it to be 0.38 38 2. Okay, you can have it this 382 1. Okay, as our final answer. Welcome, my fellow student, to this channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and like. You can as well leave comment for us to help us improve. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Bye.